So, good morning friends. Today we will see the specimen of heart. This one is the heart. It's a hollow muscular conical organ situated within the middle mediastinum. You can see it is made up of muscular tissue, that is the cardiac muscle. It's a hollow. So, within the heart there lies the cavity. It is made up of 4 chambers, that is the 2 atria and 2 ventricle. So it's a hollow muscular conical organ. So the shape is conical. So it has an apex and base. So apex lies over the left side and inferiorly, while the base lies opposite to that. So this one is the base. So it's a hollow muscular conical organ which lies in the middle mediastinum. It lies behind the sternum and adjacent costal cartilages. Now in this specimen of heart, we can also see at the upper end major vessels. So that is, this one is the aorta, and left to that there will be pulmonary trunk, and right to the aorta there will be superior vena cava which opens into the right atrium. So remember, at the upper aspect of the heart we have 3 great vessels. So aorta, pulmonary trunk and superior vena cava, while at the inferior aspect but over the right side there is another one opening, that is for inferior vena cava. The superior and inferior vena cava opens into the right atrium. Now in the heart there will be apex and base. Apart from that, inferiorly there is inferior surface or diaphragmatic surface which lies over the diaphragm. So you can say, in comparison with the upper end, it will be somewhat flat. So for putting in anatomical position, you have to remember, at the upper end there will be great vessels and the apex lies over the left side and the inferior or diaphragmatic surface lies downward. Now discussing about its measurement, from apex to base the length will be almost 12 centimeter. The maximum transverse diameter will be 9 centimeter and antero-posterior diameter will be 6 centimeter. It's a conical in shape. The weight will be 300 gram in case of male and 250 gram in case of female. If we compare with a person's own fist, almost the size of the heart will be the person's own clenched fist. So it will be like this. Now coming to the different parts of the heart. Here from the front view we can see this one is the right atrium, this one is the right ventricle and this one is the left ventricle. And lastly the other part lies posteriorly, or we can view more easily from posteriorly, and that is the left atrium. This one is the left atrium. So basically heart is made up of 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricle. The atria lies above and behind the ventricle. So this is the right atrium that lies above and behind the right ventricle, and this one is the left atrium. It lies above and behind the left ventricle. So heart is made up of 4 chambers. The right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood from the systemic circulation, and then blood will enter into the right ventricle, and from right ventricle it passes via pulmonary trunk and pulmonary artery towards the both lung for oxygenation. After oxygenation, blood will enter into the left atrium. So atrium is for receiving blood. Now in the left atrium, the blood will come via two right and two left pulmonary vein. So after oxygenation, blood will enter into the left atrium and then it will enter into the left ventricle. After left ventricle, the oxygenated blood will enter into this aorta, and from aorta it will be distributed towards the whole body. So friends, we have to remember it is made up of 4 chambers and each chamber has its own function. Now in this specimen, apart from the chambers, as we have discussed, there are great vessels. This one is the aorta. Right to that there will be superior vena cava, and left to that there will be pulmonary trunk. Now discussing the presenting part. The heart shows the features like apex, which lies over the left side, base, which is opposite to the apex. This one is the apex, sorry, this one is the base. It is also known as posterior surface. Now the apex is formed by the left ventricle. Apart from apex and base, there will be right border, upper border, left border and inferior border. So in the presenting part there are 4 borders. Then there will be surfaces. This one is the sternocostal surface or anterior surface. It lies between the right border and left border. Then inferiorly there will be diaphragmatic surface. This one is the diaphragmatic surface. The inferior border separates the diaphragmatic surface from the sternocostal surface. And then there will be left surface that will be more left to the left border. So in the surfaces we have sternocostal surface, left surface, inferior surface and this one is the posterior surface. So these are the presenting parts of the heart. Now coming to the apex is formed by the left ventricle. It lies in the 5th intercostal space just medial to the mid-clavicular line or 9 cm away from the mid-sternal or midline. Now the importance of the apex is in the living being we can feel pulsation of the heart at the level of apex, so that is in the 5th intercostal space medial to the mid-clavicular line. In case of child or lower age group, we can feel the pulsation of the heart in the 4th intercostal space. So you can say the apex lies in the 4th intercostal space in the lower age group person. So this is the importance of apex. Sometimes what happens, there will be dextrocardia condition. So that is a congenital condition in which heart lies over the right side. So in that dextrocardia, the apex we can feel in the right half of the chest. So that is the right, over the right side in the 5th intercostal space. Now coming to the base. Here you can see the base. The base or posterior surface. This whole thing is base or posterior surface. In the right side, it is formed by the vertically oriented right atrium, while in the remaining 2/3 part, it is formed by the left atrium. So base is formed by the left atrium and right atrium. Right atrium will form the right 1/3 and left atrium will form the left 2/3. Now the peculiarities in the posterior surface is that there are 4 openings in the left atrium. So see here, this one is the opening of the pulmonary vein, which is lower one. So inferior pulmonary vein. So one is at the right side, one is at the left side. Another one is the superior pulmonary vein. So here there will be superior pulmonary vein. So one is at the right side, one is at the left side. So there are 4 opening of the pulmonary vein, and in the right atrium there is opening of the superior and inferior vena cava. So in the base we have 6 opening. Now regarding its margin, right side it will extend up to the right border, so that is in between the superior and inferior vena cava, and the left side it will extend up to the margin formed by the left superior and left inferior pulmonary vein. So this is the boundary of the base. Superiorly there will be pulmonary trunk. So this one is the branch of the pulmonary trunk, that is the right and left pulmonary artery. Inferiorly, the posterior surface or base reaches up to the atrioventricular groove. So this one. So this whole aspect is base or posterior surface. The vertebral level of the base will be 5th thoracic vertebra to the 8th thoracic vertebra. That is in case of supine position. But in case of erect position, it will be from T6 to T9. So it will be 1 vertebral level down. Now it lies near to the vertebral column. In between the vertebral column and the posterior surface, there will be so many structure. First one, that is this pericardium. So, and the sinus, that is the oblique sinus. So it lies between the left atrium and vertebral column. Then there will be descending aorta, esophagus, thoracic duct, right pulmonary vein. So these are the structure that lies in between the vertebra and the left atrium. Now coming to the right border. So here we can view this right border extending from the superior vena cava to the inferior vena cava. So it represents the sulcus terminalis. Inside the right atrium there will be somewhat thickening, that is called as crista terminalis. So this one is the right border. Then here there will be left border. It extends from the apex, traversing through the left ventricle, it reaches up to the left auricle. It is ill defined. The third one is the inferior border, that is it extends from the opening of the inferior vena cava towards the apex. So this is the inferior border. Near the apex, at the inferior border, there is a notch. So that is called as incisura cordis. Now coming to the upper border. This one is the upper border. It is mainly made up of right atrium and left atrium. From the front, it is obscured due to presence of pulmonary trunk and the aorta. So we have upper border, left border, inferior border and the right border. Now coming to the sternocostal surface. This one is the sternocostal surface. It is mainly formed by the right ventricle, then left ventricle, then right atrium and very small part by the left auricle. So sternocostal surface, it is formed by these all 4 chambers. It lies between the right border to the left border. Over the sternocostal surface, we have different grooves. In between the right atrium and the right ventricle, there is a atrioventricular groove. So here there will be right coronary artery. It passes downward and right laterally. The another one is the interventricular groove. This one is the interventricular groove. It lies in between the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Here there will be left anterior descending branch of the left coronary artery and the great cardiac vein. This interventricular groove also continue over the inferior aspect. So here it will form the posterior half of the interventricular groove. So interventricular groove, anteriorly there it is called as anterior interventricular groove, and posteriorly posterior interventricular groove. Now coming to the inferior surface. This is the inferior surface. Here we have seen this is the inferior border. So inferior surface is formed in between the inferior border and another border which extend from the apex towards the left atrium. So that is unnamed border which passes from the apex to the left atrium, so going up above obliquely. So in between these two border, unnamed border and inferior border, there will be inferior surface. The posterior extension of the inferior surface will be up to the atrioventricular groove. So that is in between the atrium and ventricle. As we have seen previously, this is the base. The base extend up to the atrioventricular groove. So here there is a groove known as atrioventricular groove. So this part is inferior surface. As we have discussed, over the inferior surface there will be posterior interventricular groove. Over the atrioventricular groove there will be coronary sinus and communication or anastomosis between the right and left coronary artery, that we will see later on. Now coming to the relation of the sternocostal surface, the most of the part of the sternocostal surface is covered by lung. So right side right lung and pleura, left side left lung and pleura. But over the left lung there is cardiac notch over the lung and pleura. So at the level of fourth costal cartilage, the part of the left ventricle is uncovered, so that is not covered by the lung and pleura at the level of cardiac notch. So this part, so that is the part of the left ventricle and its covering, that is the pericardium, directly come in the contact with the sternum and intercostal space. So that part is dull on percussion, while the remaining part there will not be dullness because presence of air in the lung. So this part is also known as dullness of cardiac or superficial cardiac dullness. So that is useful for clinical point of view. Now coming to the left surface. Here there will be left surface. It lies in between the left border, which is somewhat ill-defined, and the another unnamed border which extends from the apex to the left atrium. So this portion is left surface. The left surface is again covered by lung. So it is also called as left pulmonary surface. Now it is mainly made up of left ventricle, and in the upper part it is made up of left atrium. In between the atrium and ventricle there will be atrioventricular groove. So here there is atrioventricular groove. So here there will be main trunk of the left coronary artery and circumflex branch of the left coronary artery and termination of the great cardiac vein and commencement of the coronary sinus. And also here this part is related with the pericardiophrenic vessel and phrenic nerve. To the demarcation of atrioventricular groove. As we know, this is the right atrium, this is right ventricle. Here there will be left atrium, and then here there is left ventricle. So demarcation of atrioventricular groove, so that is in between the atria and ventricle. It is almost C shape. So it is like this. Like this. So in the anterior aspect, it is somewhat deficit. It seems to be deficit due to presence of pulmonary trunk and root of aorta. Otherwise, it is circular like this. So this is the atrioventricular groove. So it is divided into anterior part and posterior part. Atrioventricular groove, posterior atrioventricular groove. Now, the anterior part again divides into two parts, right atrioventricular groove and left atrioventricular groove. So, right atrioventricular groove, here there will be presence of right coronary artery. In the left atrioventricular groove, there will be presence of left coronary artery. So, that is the main trunk, and its branch, that is the left circumflex branch of the coronary artery. Now, in the posterior atrioventricular groove, so that is this one, posterior atrioventricular groove, there will be anastomosis of the right coronary and left coronary, which are coming from their respective side, and also there will be coronary sinus. So, friends, you have to remember this coronary sulcus or atrioventricular groove, it is almost in coronal plane like this. It is C shape in nature. So till now we have seen the atrioventricular groove, interventricular groove, this one, that is the anterior part and the posterior part. Now the remaining one is interatrial groove. So that is in between the right and left atrium. So there is a very faint groove here. This one is the interatrial groove. So at the atrioventricular groove, here there will be meeting point of the posterior interventricular groove and interatrial groove, which is coming from the base. So this point or meeting point is called as crux of the heart. Remember guys, at the crux there will be meeting of all groove or sulcus. So that is the right atrioventricular groove, left atrioventricular groove, posterior interventricular groove and interatrial groove. This is the crux of heart. Now coming to the some interesting observation. So that is the number one, that is the only features. So which are the only features? So apex is formed only by left ventricle. Right border is only formed by the right atrium. Base is only formed by these two atria, while the inferior surface only formed by the two ventricle. So here there is no contribution of atria. Now coming to the 2/3 1/3 features. Certain features are regarded as 2/3 1/3 feature. The sternocostal surface, here it is 2/3 formed by the right ventricle and 1/3 formed by the left ventricle. The overall heart lies behind the sternum, but the left 2/3 lies left to the midline, while the right 1/3 lies right to the midline. Over the inferior surface, The left 2/3 is formed by the left ventricle, while right 1/3 is formed by the right ventricle. Over the base or posterior surface, the right 1/3 is formed by the right atrium and the left 2/3 is formed by the left atrium. So these are the 2/3 1/3 feature. So these features are some interesting point. So only features and 2/3 1/3 features. See the two sinuses related with the pericardium. One is oblique sinus, one is the transverse sinus. For that, we have to understand the arrangement of the major vessels and the vein over the heart. As we know, when we see from the front, we can see this aorta and this is the pulmonary trunk. And from behind, we can see this is the left atrium where there is opening of the pulmonary vein. This one. Now, above the left atrium or above the opening of the pulmonary vein, there is another structure, this one, that is the pulmonary arteries. So, right and left pulmonary artery, which is the branch of pulmonary trunk. See here, this is the pulmonary trunk. It divides into right and left side. So right will go behind the superior vena cava and above the left atrium, and this one is the left pulmonary artery. So this pulmonary trunk divides into right and left pulmonary artery. We can view from behind, this one. Now try to understand these two. Aorta and the pulmonary artery are the arterial end of the heart or arterial end of the vessels, while the remaining part, so that is the opening of the four pulmonary vein, that is horizontally oriented, and superior inferior vena cava, that is the two another venous opening. So these two structure are the venous end. So in between the arterial end and the venous end, this one, here the my forceps is there, so that is the transverse sinus. So you can easily visualize the transverse sinus. So remember guys, the transverse sinus lies between the arterial end and the venous end. In the arterial end we have pulmonary artery and the aorta. In the venous end we have opening of the four pulmonary vein and the superior vena cava. Here now I will put the forceps one by one. So this is the forceps inside the inferior pulmonary vein, right and left. Here the forceps will be in the superior pulmonary vein, that is right and left. Now the forceps will be in the transverse sinus, and lastly the forceps will be in the pulmonary artery. So that is again right and left pulmonary artery. Remember, pulmonary artery lies above and anterior to the pulmonary vein. So this is the transverse sinus. It is very nicely seen. This is transverse sinus. Now coming to the oblique sinus. So here from the posterior view, we can see this four pulmonary vein. In between them there is a space, that is the oblique sinus. So it lies within the pericardium. So this one is our pericardium, that is the fibrous and serous both. So this oblique sinus lies posterior to the left atrium and anterior to the fibrous and serous pericardium. Laterally, it is closed by the serous covering over the pulmonary vein, and superiorly again it is closed at the level of upper border of left atrium by reflection of the serous pericardium. So this is the oblique sinus. Now this left atrium and oblique sinus will be in relation with the structure in the mediastinum, that is the esophagus, aorta, like that. When there is enlargement of the left atrium, it will try to compress the esophagus and there will be symptoms like dysphagia. So friends, you have to remember this oblique sinus which is closed from all above and only open from inferiorly, and another is the transverse sinus which is horizontally placed in between the arterial end and the venous end, and it is open from both sides. Now friends, we will see the schematic diagram of the heart. What we can see from the front, we will see. See here there will be right border, this one is the upper border, this one is the left border, and this one is the inferior border. Now, apart from these parts of the heart, we can see the great vessels. So from right to left, first we will see this vertical superior vena cava. Left to that we can see the aorta. So that is the ascending aorta, arch of aorta, and then descending aorta. Left to the ascending aorta we can see the pulmonary trunk, which has two divisions, right pulmonary artery and left pulmonary artery. And lastly, in the inferior aspect near the right border, we can see the inferior vena cava. So apart from these parts of the heart, we can see these four great vessels: superior, inferior vena cava, aorta, and pulmonary trunk. Now, in the anterior surface, we can see this vertical groove that separates the atria from ventricle. So that is the right atria from right ventricle. So that is atrioventricular groove. And another groove is near the left border, that is the vertical interventricular groove that separates the right ventricle from the left ventricle. So in this sternocostal surface, we can see this atrioventricular groove and interventricular groove. Now we will see the second diagram. This diagram is another schematic diagram which shows the posterior aspect, what we can see from the posteriorly. So this is the posterior view. In the posterior view, we can see this posterior surface which is mainly made up of left atrium and partly by the right atrium. And another part is this one, that is the inferior or diaphragmatic surface. So when we see the heart from the posteriorly, we can see the posterior surface and diaphragmatic surface. Now, the posterior surface, as we know, it is made up of left atrium and right atrium. In between them, there is faint interatrial groove. In the left atrium, there will be opening of the four pulmonary veins. So these are the right, superior, inferior, and these are the left, superior, inferior pulmonary vein. Above that, we can see this pulmonary artery. So above the pulmonary vein, there will be right and left pulmonary artery. And also anterior to that, there will be superior vena cava and arch of aorta. So these are the structure we can view from the posterior aspect.